Family called her sensitive. I called her bluff and made her watch her one true love tell her he was busy loving me. There's a specific type of manipulation that's invisible to outsiders. It doesn't involve screaming or violence. It involves tears, performative fragility, and the magic phrase, "You're hurting my feelings." My sister Victoria turned that phrase into a weapon, and for 25 years, I was the target. My name is Rachel Bennett, and my entire life I've been the bad sister. Not because I was cruel, not because I hurt people, but because every time Victoria wanted something I had, a toy, a boyfriend, our parents' attention, she cried. And when Victoria cried, I was automatically guilty. "Rachel, why did you make your sister cry?" "Rachel, you need to be more sensitive." "Rachel, Victoria is more fragile than you. You need to take care of her." Context didn't matter. Truth didn't matter. Victoria's tears equals Rachel's fault. It was a simple equation that governed my entire childhood. When you spend your whole life being blamed for someone else's tears, you eventually stop defending yourself. Because what's the point? Nobody's going to believe you anyway. The first time I really understood the power of Victoria's tears, I was 7. She was 10. I had won an art contest at school. First place. My drawing would be displayed in the city gallery. I came home excited, holding my certificate. "Mom, Dad, I won." My mom smiled, hugged me. "I'm so proud, sweetie." Then Victoria came downstairs. She saw the certificate, and her face changed. For just a fraction of a second, I saw anger. Then tears filled her eyes. "Congratulations, Rachel," she said, her voice trembling. "You must be so happy." "Tori, are you okay?" My mom immediately turned to her, letting me go. "I am," Victoria wiped her tears. "It's just, I entered that contest too, and I didn't win anything. But it's fine. Rachel is more talented. I understand." And just like that, my moment of glory turned into comforting Victoria. My mom spent the evening talking about how Victoria was equally talented and how everyone has their own gifts. My certificate was hung in the hallway. Victoria's, which she didn't even have, became the center of conversation. This pattern repeated over and over for years. When I made the volleyball team, Victoria cried because she always wanted to play volleyball but was too fragile. When I got a scholarship, Victoria cried because she worked hard too, but nobody recognized it. When I made friends, Victoria cried because people didn't like her as much as they liked me. And every time, I was the one who had to give in, who had to be more sensitive, who had to minimize my achievements so I wouldn't make Victoria feel bad. "Rachel, you can't be so selfish," my mom would say. "Victoria is sensitive. She needs more support than you do." But the worst, the absolute worst, was Tyler. I was 19. Tyler was 21. We met at Northwestern University, fell in love slowly, built something real. He was kind, funny, he really saw me. For the first time, I had something that was completely mine. Until Victoria met him. It was at a family dinner. I had brought Tyler to meet my parents. Victoria was there, of course. She had just gotten back from a trip and was so excited to meet my boyfriend. Tyler was polite, warm. He talked to everyone, including Victoria. And I saw it. I saw the moment she decided she wanted him. Not because she was attracted to him, not because they had a connection, but because he was mine. And Victoria couldn't stand me having something she didn't have. In the following days, Victoria started showing up, casually, at the coffee shop where Tyler and I studied, by chance at the movie theater where we went, always with that sweet smile, that performative fragility. "Rachel, what a coincidence. Tyler, so good to see you again." Tyler was polite, always polite, but I saw his discomfort. "Your sister is intense," he commented after the 5th casual encounter. "I know," I sighed. "Just ignore her. She'll get tired." But Victoria never got tired, especially not when she had an audience. It was at a family party that everything fell apart. Tyler was there, by my side. Victoria was across the room. And then, dramatically, she fainted. Panic. Everyone running, my mom screaming, ambulance called. At the hospital, after all the tests, the doctor said, "She's fine, just stress, maybe a little dehydration." But Victoria, lying in the hospital bed, looked directly at Tyler with those teary eyes. "Sorry for ruining the party. I've been so stressed lately." "Why are you stressed, honey?" My mom held her hand. Victoria hesitated. Then, softly, "It's silly. I shouldn't say." "Say it," my mom insisted. "It's just that..." Victoria looked at me, then at Tyler. "I met someone special, but he doesn't see me that way, and it's been difficult." My stomach sank. No, she wouldn't dare. "Who?" my mom asked. Victoria didn't say, but her eyes went to Tyler, just for a second, but it was enough. My mom saw, my dad saw, and worst, Tyler saw. Manipulators don't need to lie explicitly. They just plant seeds, let people draw their own conclusions, and then, when confronted, they can say, "I never said that." "Victoria," my voice was low, dangerous. "Don't." "Don't what?" She blinked innocently. "I didn't say anything." "You don't have to." I stood up. "Everyone knows exactly what you're insinuating." "Rachel, don't be dramatic," my mom scolded me. "Victoria is just sharing her feelings." "She's manipulating," I yelled, "like always. She sees I have something good, and she has to destroy it." "Rachel," my dad raised his voice, "your sister is in a hospital bed, and you're making it about you?" "Because it is about me." Tears of anger burned my eyes. "She fainted on purpose. She's pretending to have feelings for Tyler to take him from me, like she does with everything." "You think I would fake fainting?" Victoria was crying now, beautifully, perfectly. "Rachel, I know you've always thought I was dramatic, but this is cruel." And just like that, once again, I was the villain. Tyler broke up with me 2 weeks later. "I can't do this, Rachel. Your family is too complicated. And Victoria..." "Victoria what?" I demanded. He admitted. "She texted me," he admitted, saying she had feelings for me, that she was trying to respect our relationship, but it was hard. And, Rachel, I can't be in the middle of this." "So you're choosing her?" My voice was dead. "I'm not choosing anyone," he said. "I'm choosing to leave." He left, and 3 months later, Victoria posted a picture of them together. Caption, "Sometimes love comes when you least expect it. Heart." They dated for 6 months. Then, Victoria got tired of him and broke up, because it was never about Tyler. It was about taking him from me. That was the moment something in me broke. Not from pain, from clarity. Victoria was never going to stop, unless someone stopped her. I spent the next few years rebuilding. Therapy, distance from family, focus on myself. And slowly, painfully, I healed. Until I met Ethan Morrison. It was at a networking event in downtown Chicago. I was there for work. I now worked in digital marketing, had built a solid career. Ethan was there for the same reason. We talked, just talked, about work, life, dreams. And something clicked. Not immediate attraction, but real connection. "Want to grab coffee sometime?" he asked at the end of the night. "Only if you promise you're not a serial killer," I joked. "Can't promise," he smiled, "but I can promise good coffee." We started seeing each other, casually at first. Coffee, dinners, long walks through Millennium Park. And slowly, inevitably, we fell in love. Ethan was different. He saw me, really saw me. Not the bad sister, not the insensitive one, just Rachel, with all my flaws and strengths. "You're amazing," he said one night, 3 months after we met. "You're biased," I replied, smiling. "Totally. He pulled me close. But I'm also right. I had learned from Tyler. I kept Ethan away from my family as much as possible. Didn't mention much about him, didn't post photos, tried to keep that part of my life separate. But eventually, inevitably, the worlds collided. It was my mom's birthday, family dinner at their house in Evanston. I couldn't not go. And Ethan, being the wonderful boyfriend he was, insisted on coming with me. "I want to meet your family," he said, "no matter how complicated they are." "You don't understand," I tried to explain. "My sister, she's manipulative," he suggested. "Rachel, you told me, and I believe you. But I'm also not going to let her affect us. We're strong, together." His confidence was comforting, but also terrifying, because he didn't know Victoria, didn't know what she was capable of. The dinner started well. My family was polite to Ethan. My dad even seemed impressed. And Victoria? Victoria was quiet, watching. I should have known it was the calm before the storm. It was during dessert that Victoria made her move. "Ethan," she said softly, her eyes big and vulnerable, "you look so familiar. Have we met before?" "I don't think so," Ethan replied politely. "I would remember." "Strange." Victoria tilted her head, as if genuinely confused. "I feel like I know you. You know that feeling? Like our souls have already met?" I almost choked on my wine. My best friend Sarah, who was also there, gave me a "here she goes" look. "Victoria loves these spiritual things," my mom explained to Ethan, smiling indulgently. "She's very sensitive to energies." "Interesting," Ethan said, his voice neutral, but I felt his hand find mine under the table, squeezing gently. "It's more than interesting," Victoria continued, her eyes never leaving Ethan. "It's rare, very rare, to find someone you have such a deep connection with." And there it was, the beginning, Victoria planting seeds, making Ethan, and everyone at the table, think there was something special between them. "Tori, honey, are you okay?" My mom noticed the tears forming in Victoria's eyes. Of course she noticed. "I am." Victoria delicately wiped the tears. "Sorry, it's just sometimes these connections are so intense, it's overwhelming." "Victoria," my voice was calm, very calm. "Stop." "Stop what?" She blinked innocently. "Rachel, I was just sharing." "You were manipulating," I corrected, like always. "Rachel," my mom scolded me, "why do you always have to be so hard on your sister?" "Because she's doing it again," my voice rose. "She sees I have someone, and she immediately—" "Immediately what?" Victoria interrupted, her voice broken. "Rachel, do you really think I would steal your boyfriend? Again? Do you really have that little faith in me?" The way she said it, again, was brilliant, because it admitted Tyler while simultaneously making it seem like I was paranoid for thinking she'd do it again. "Maybe we should go," said Ethan, standing up. "No." Victoria stood too, more tears falling. "No, please don't leave because of me. I always ruin everything, always make Rachel feel threatened. I just wanted to be friendly." And then she ran out of the room, sobbing. My mom gave me a devastating look. "Are you happy now? You made your sister cry. Again." "She's faking," I yelled. "Mom, please, just once, see through her." "See through her?" My mom stood up. "Rachel, your sister is sensitive. She always has been. And you've always been hard on her. Since you were kids. I hoped you would have grown up, but clearly not." "Margaret," my dad finally spoke, "maybe Rachel has a point. Victoria has a pattern." "A pattern?" My mom interrupted him. "Of being emotionally open? Of feeling things deeply? That's not a flaw, Robert. That's who she is." Sarah stood up. "Mrs. Bennet, with all due respect, I've known Rachel for 10 years, and I've seen what Victoria does. This isn't sensitivity, it's manipulation." "Nobody asked for your opinion," my mom said coldly. "Let's go." Ethan held my hand. "Rachel, let's leave." In the car, I collapsed. Years of frustration, of being blamed, of being the villain, all coming out in ugly sobs. "I warned you," I managed to say between tears. "I warned you she would do this." "Hey," Ethan stopped the car, turning to face me. "Look at me." I looked, my face stained with tears and mascara. "I love you," he said firmly. "Not Victoria, not any manipulated version of spiritual connection she tries to create. You, and nothing she does will change that. You say that now." My voice was broken. "But Tyler said the same thing, and then she convinced him." "I'm not Tyler," Ethan interrupted. "And you know how I know? Because I see you, really see you, and I see her too. I see exactly what she's doing, and it won't work." For the first time in my life, someone believed me about Victoria, without questioning, without doubting, just believed. But Victoria didn't stop. Of course not. In the following days, she started sending me messages, long, tearful messages about how she didn't understand why I hated her so much, and how she just wanted to be close to me and get to know the important people in my life. Then the messages to Ethan started. He showed me all of them, every single one. "Rachel must have told you terrible things about me, but I swear I'm not the monster she paints. I'm just sensitive, and sometimes that scares people. I felt a real connection when we met, not romantic, just spiritual, like our souls recognized each other. Did you feel it too? I know Rachel is your girlfriend, and I totally respect that. But do you think we could be friends? I'd love to get to know you better, as family friend." Each message was carefully crafted, vulnerable but not too much, suggestive but not explicit, leaving room for plausible deniability. "She's good," Ethan admitted. "Very good. If I didn't know you, if I didn't trust you completely, I might believe she's just a sensitive girl trying to connect." "But you know me," I said softly. "I do." He pulled me close. "And I know manipulation when I see it. Rachel, what do you want to do about this?" "What can I do?" I sighed. "She always wins. Always. Because nobody believes that sensitive Victoria could be manipulative." "Then let's make them believe," Ethan said. And there was something in his eyes. Something determined. "How?" "By giving her exactly what she wants." He smiled, but it wasn't a kind smile. A public confrontation. But this time, on our terms. He explained the plan. It was risky, it was public, and, if it worked, it would finally expose Victoria. "Your dad's birthday is next month, right?" Ethan asked. "Yes, big party, whole family." "Perfect," he nodded. "Here's what we're going to do." We spent the following weeks preparing. Ethan responded to some of Victoria's messages, nothing inappropriate, just friendly enough to keep her engaged, to make her think her plan was working. Victoria, predictable as always, escalated. Her messages became more frequent, more suggestive, more innocently flirtatious. "I keep thinking about that connection we felt. Do you think about it too? Rachel is lucky to have you. I hope I find someone who understands me like that someday. Do you think soulmates are real? Because I feel like I found mine, but the timing is wrong. I know Rachel is your girlfriend, and I totally respect that. But do you think we could be friends? I'd love to get to know you better. As family friend." Each message was carefully crafted, vulnerable but not too much, suggestive but not explicit, leaving room for plausible deniability. "She's good," Ethan admitted. "Very good. If I didn't know you, if I didn't trust you completely, I might believe she's just a sensitive girl trying to connect." "But you know me," I said softly. "I do." He pulled me close. "And I know manipulation when I see it. Rachel, what do you want to do about this?" "What can I do?" I sighed. "She always wins. Always. Because nobody believes that sensitive Victoria could be manipulative." "Then let's make them believe," Ethan said. And there was something in his eyes. Something determined. "How?" "By giving her exactly what she wants." He smiled, but it wasn't a kind smile. A public confrontation. But this time, on our terms. He explained the plan. It was risky, it was public, and, if it worked, it would finally expose Victoria. Your dad's birthday is next month, right? Yes, big party, whole family. Perfect, he nodded. Here's what we're going to do. We spent the following weeks preparing. Ethan responded to some of Victoria's messages, nothing inappropriate, just friendly enough to keep her engaged, to make her think her plan was working. Victoria, predictable as always, escalated. Her messages became more frequent, more suggestive, more innocently flirtatious. I keep thinking about that connection we felt. Do you think about it too? Rachel is lucky to have you. I hope I find someone who understands me like that someday. Do you think soulmates are real? Because I feel like I found mine, but the timing is wrong. Each message was evidence, and Ethan saved them all. My mom called me a week before my dad's birthday. Rachel, you need to bring Ethan to the party. Victoria mentioned you two have been talking and she'd love to see him again. Of course she mentioned it. He'll be there, I promised. Good. And Rachel, try to be nicer to your sister, okay? She's really trying to connect with you. I know, Mom, I said, my voice neutral. I know exactly what she's trying to do. The night of the party arrived. It was at my parents' house in Evanston. Fairy lights in the backyard, elegant tables, the whole extended family present. Victoria was stunning, of course. Navy blue dress that hugged every curve, hair in perfect waves. She saw me and Ethan arriving, and her face, for a fraction of a second, I saw triumph. Then the mask came down. Vulnerability, fragility, that sweet, hesitant smile. Rachel, Ethan, I'm so glad you came. Wouldn't miss it, Ethan said, his voice warm, very warm. I saw the confusion in Victoria's eyes. She expected distance from him, coldness, but he was being friendly. Ethan, do you mind if I steal Rachel for a minute? Sister talk. Of course, he smiled. I'll get drinks. Victoria pulled me to a quiet corner of the yard. Rachel, I need to tell you something. Let me guess. My voice was dry. You're in love with Ethan. She blinked, surprised by my frankness. Then tears filled her eyes. How can you be so cruel? I was trying to be honest with you and you— Save it, I interrupted. Victoria, I know exactly what you're doing, like always, but this time it won't work. Won't work? She laughed, a bitter sound. Rachel, you saw the messages. Ethan and I have a connection, real, deep, and you can pretend you don't see it, but I saw the messages, I confirmed. All of them, because Ethan showed me every single one. Her face went pale. He showed me everything, Victoria, every manipulative message, every flirting attempt, every innocent insinuation. And you know what we did? We laughed together at your pathetic attempt to destroy another relationship of mine. You're lying, she whispered. Am I? I smiled. Then why don't we ask him? If you're enjoying this story, like and subscribe to the channel. Have you ever had someone in your family who used sensitivity as a weapon? Share in the comments. We walked back to the party. Victoria was visibly shaken but trying to maintain composure. Ethan was talking to my dad, completely at ease. Ethan, honey, Victoria approached, her voice sweet but with an edge of desperation. Do you mind if we talk in private? Actually, Ethan looked around, I'd prefer to do this here, with everyone. Victoria went rigid. Do what? Clear some things up. Ethan took my hand. Because it seems there's some confusion about my feelings. The conversation around us started to die down, people noticing the tension. My mom approached, her Victoria needs protection radar activated. Victoria, Ethan began, his voice clear and firm. You've sent me many messages over the past few weeks. Messages about spiritual connections, soulmates, deep feelings. I was just being friendly, Victoria said quickly, tears already forming. Rachel, did you tell him that? I didn't say anything, I interrupted. You said it in every message, every insinuation, every manipulation attempt. Manipulation? My mom interjected. Rachel, how dare you accuse your sister? Margaret, my dad put his hand on her shoulder. Let him finish. Ethan continued. I responded to your messages because Rachel asked me to, because she wanted evidence that you were doing exactly what you did with Tyler, trying to destroy her relationship through emotional manipulation. That's not true. Victoria was crying now, beautifully. perfectly. Ethan, I trusted you. I shared my feelings and you were using me? You were trying to use me, Ethan corrected, to hurt Rachel, like you always do. I don't always, Victoria started. Tyler, I said simply. You pretended to have feelings for him, sent messages saying it was hard to resist, made him feel guilty for dating me. And when he broke up with me, you dated him for 6 months before discarding him like trash. That was different, Victoria protested. I really liked Tyler. For 6 months? Sarah entered the conversation. Victoria, you posted about how you finally found true love. Then 3 weeks later, you broke up with him via text saying he was too boring. I changed my mind. Victoria was getting desperate now. People change their minds. No. My voice was calm. Very calm. You never wanted Tyler. You just wanted to take him from me, like you tried to do with Ethan, like you did with every good thing in my life. For the first time, I was saying everything, in front of everyone. No screaming, no hysteria, just calm, cold truth. Rachel, you're being paranoid, my mom started. No, Margaret, I think we need to hear this. Thank you, Dad. I looked at him, surprised. I've been seeing patterns, he admitted, for years, but it was easier to ignore, to blame Rachel for being insensitive, than to admit that Victoria has problems. Problems? Victoria shouted, her mask finally cracking. I have problems because I feel things? Because I'm honest about my emotions? You're not honest, Ethan said calmly. You're manipulative. You use tears as a weapon. You fake fragility to get what you want. And when you don't get it, you destroy. How dare you? Victoria started. I dare because I have proof. Ethan pulled out his phone. All the messages. Everyone. And they're not just friendly. They're calculated, manipulative, designed to plant doubts about Rachel while positioning you as the victim. He started reading, out loud, in front of everyone. I know Rachel probably told you I'm dramatic, but I swear I'm just sensitive. And sometimes sensitive people feel connections others don't understand. Have you ever wondered if you're with the right person? Sometimes the universe gives us signs, like that connection we felt when we met. Rachel has always been the strong one. I've always been the fragile one. But maybe you need someone who truly understands deep emotions. Each message was a knife, and Victoria's mask was shattering with each word. Stop, she whispered. Please stop. Why? Ethan asked. Embarrassed? Because you should be. This isn't sensitivity. This is calculated manipulation. Victoria. My mom was looking at her like she was seeing her for the first time. Did you really do this? Mom, I can explain, Victoria started. No, my mom raised her hand. No, I don't want to hear explanations. I want to hear the truth. For the first time, I want the truth. Victoria looked around at the family that had always protected her, at the people who had always believed her tears. And for the first time, she didn't see allies. She saw doubt. The truth? Her voice was strange now, not sweet, not fragile, bitter. You want the truth? Well, here it is. Yes, I tried to steal Ethan, like I stole Tyler, like I tried to steal everything Rachel had that I wanted. Gasps around us. My mom went pale. Why? I managed to ask. Why do you do this? Because you always had everything, Victoria screamed, tears real now, not performative, but from rage. You were always the favorite, the strong one, the one who didn't need protection. I was the favorite? I laughed, incredulous. Victoria, you were protected, defended, excused for everything. I was always blamed. Because you could handle it, she yelled. You were strong enough to handle it. But I needed to be protected. And do you know what it's like to be the one who needs protection? It's being the weak one, the broken one, the one who's never good enough alone. And there it was, the truth Victoria had never admitted. She didn't hate me for having things. She hated me for being strong, for not needing the protection that defined her. So you destroyed me? I said softly. To feel strong? Yes. Victoria was crying openly now. Yes, because if I could take things from you, if I could make you suffer, then I wasn't the weak one. I was the powerful one. My God, my mom whispered. Victoria, what did we do to you? You protected me, Victoria said bitterly. So much that I never learned to be strong on my own. I only learned to use weakness as a weapon. The silence that followed was absolute. Then Ethan spoke. Victoria, I don't love you. His voice was firm but not cruel. I will never love you, not because you're weak, but because you're manipulative. And until you do the real work of changing, of stopping using tears as a weapon, you'll continue to be alone. He turned to me. But Rachel, I love, deeply, completely, because she's genuine, because she's strong without destroying others, because she's everything you pretend to be but never were. And then, in front of my entire family, Ethan kissed me. Not a performative kiss, a real kiss, deep, full of love. When we separated, Victoria was on the floor, not fainted, just defeated. Her final weapon, tears, useless because everyone finally saw through them. I'm sorry, she whispered. Not to you, Rachel, but to myself, for what I've become. And for the first time, I believed her. My mom knelt beside Victoria, but this time, not to blindly comfort her, to finally see her. Victoria, for how long? Her voice was broken. For how long have you been doing this? Always, Victoria wiped her face. Since I can remember. I realized early that if I cried, Rachel was blamed, and that gave me power, the only power I had. We failed you, my dad joined them, and Rachel. We created this monster by overprotecting you and blaming Rachel for everything. I'm not a monster, Victoria said, but there was no conviction there. No, I agreed. You're not. But you did monstrous things, and now you need to decide. Are you going to continue being the victim, or are you finally going to grow up? Victoria looked at me, really saw me for the first time in years. How do you do it? How are you strong even when everyone blames you? Because I had no choice, I replied honestly. You had mom and dad protecting you. I only had myself, so I learned to be my own advocate. I envy that, she admitted. Your strength, your independence, everything I pretend to have but never really had. For the first time, Victoria was being genuine, not performative, not manipulative, just honest about her pain. You can learn, I said softly, but it won't be easy, and it will require you to stop using tears as a weapon, to take real responsibility. I don't know if I can, Victoria whispered. Then you'll continue to be alone, Ethan said, not cruelly, but honestly, because nobody will want to be around someone who constantly manipulates. My mom was crying now. How did I not see? How did I let this happen? Because it was easier, I replied. Easier to blame the strong daughter than to admit the sensitive daughter was manipulating everyone. Rachel, I'm so sorry, my mom looked at me, for all the years, for all the times I blamed you, for making you the villain when you were the victim. I wasn't a victim, I corrected. I was a survivor. There's a difference. The party had dissolved, guests leaving quietly, uncomfortable with the family drama. Only immediate family remained, and Sarah and Ethan, who had become more family than some blood relatives. What do we do now? My dad asked, looking between me and Victoria. Now? I looked at Victoria. Now Victoria decides. She can seek real help, therapy, not just surface conversations. She can do the work of understanding why she manipulates. Or she can continue being the eternal victim. But if she chooses the latter, I can't be in her life. Rachel, Victoria started. No, I raised my hand. I spent 25 years being blamed for your tears, being the villain in your story, and I won't anymore. You want a relationship with me? You work on yourself, for real, not pretending, not performing, but really changing. And if I can't, her voice was small, then you lose, I said simply. You lose your sister, your family, any chance of real relationships. Because nobody can love the performative version of you, Victoria. They can only love the real person. And you need to figure out who that person is. Victoria was silent for a long moment. Then, okay, 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 I'll try. She looked at my mom. But I'll need help, real help. Not just be more sensitive to Victoria, but real accountability. My mom nodded, tears streaming. I promise, we'll help you, but we'll also hold you accountable. It was Sarah who broke the tension. Well, that was intense. Does anyone want cake? Because there's a perfectly good birthday cake being wasted. Nervous laughter. But it was what we needed, a moment of lightness amid the weight. We cut the cake, sang happy birthday to my dad, and slowly the evening returned to something resembling normalcy. But everything had changed, fundamentally, irreversibly. When Ethan and I left that night, Victoria stopped me at the door. Rachel, I really will try, she said. Not for you, but for me, because I'm tired of being this person. I hope so, I replied honestly, because I miss the sister you could have been before tears became a weapon. That sister still exists, Victoria said softly, just buried under years of manipulation. But I'll find her, I promise. In the car, Ethan looked at me. Are you okay? I am. And it was true. For the first time in years, I'm really okay. You were amazing tonight, he held my hand. Strong but compassionate, firm but fair. I had a good partner, I smiled. Thank you for believing me, for not falling for her manipulation. Impossible to fall, he kissed my hand. When you know the real thing, the fake is obvious. Sometimes the greatest revenge isn't destroying your enemy. It's simply being so genuinely happy that their lies become obvious in contrast. 6 months later, my life was unrecognizable, but this time in all the right ways. Victoria was in intensive therapy, twice a week, working through years of manipulative patterns. It wasn't linear. There were relapses, moments where she fell into old habits, but she was trying, genuinely. Today, I almost cried to get what I wanted, she told me in one of our monthly calls, something we had started as a way to rebuild. At work, my boss said no to a project, and my first instinct was tears, but I stopped, breathed, and accepted the no. That's huge, I said honestly. How did it feel? Powerless, she admitted, but also strong, in a weird way, like I proved to myself I can handle rejection without manipulating. You can, I confirmed, and it'll get easier, eventually. I hope so, she sighed. Rachel, I want to apologize, for real, not performatively, but genuinely. For Tyler, for Ethan, for all the years of making you the villain. I accept your apology, I said. But Victoria, apologies are just words. What matters is consistent change, and you're doing that. So keep going. I will, she promised, because I discovered something in therapy. I don't want to be the eternal victim. I want to be the hero of my own story. And heroes don't manipulate. They face things. My relationship with my mom was also healing, slowly. She had started her own therapy, working through the guilt of years of favoritism. I failed you, she said at one of our monthly lunches in downtown Evanston, for so long, and there's no excuse. There isn't, I agreed, but there's explanation and understanding. You thought you were protecting Victoria. You didn't know you were creating a monster. I should have known. She wiped tears, real, not performative. I'm the mother. It was my job to see. You're seeing now, I pointed out, and that's what matters. My dad and I had always had a better relationship, but even that had deepened. He had been the first to see through Victoria, but had been too cowardly to act. I should have defended you, he said, years ago, but it was easier to let your mom handle girl stuff. Well, now you are, I smiled. Better late than never. Ethan and I had moved in together, a small apartment in Lincoln Park, full of light and plants and love. He had proposed 3 months ago. Nothing elaborate, just the two of us on a walk through the Chicago Riverwalk. I want to spend my life with you, he had said, not because you need me, but because I choose you every day. I choose you too, I had replied, tears of happiness streaming. Every day. The wedding was set for 6 months from now, and yes, Victoria was invited. Not as maid of honor, that place was Sarah's, but as a guest, as a sister, as someone who was trying to be better. Are you sure? Ethan had asked when I decided to invite her. After everything? I am, I replied, because she's changing, and because I want to believe people can grow, that families can heal. Tyler had reached out to me a few months ago. He had heard about the confrontation. Small-town Chicago suburbs, everyone knows everything. Rachel, I need to apologize, he said, when we met for coffee at a Starbucks in Wilmetta, for not believing you, for letting Victoria manipulate me. You were young, I said gently, and she's good at what she does. That's not an excuse, he shook his head. I should have trusted you, should have seen through her. Maybe, I agreed. But Tyler, you can't change the past. You can only learn from it. I learned, he smiled sadly. I learned that manipulation comes in many forms, and that the loudest person isn't always the one telling the truth. Sarah had become even more my rock. She had been there every step, believing me when nobody else did, supporting me when I wanted to give up. You saved my life, you know, I told her one girl's night. I didn't, she corrected. You saved your own life. I was just there to witness it. Still, I smiled. Thank you for never doubting, for always seeing the truth. Always, she hugged me, because that's what real friends do. They see you, really see you. The extended family had split after the confrontation. Some still defended Victoria. She's sensitive. Rachel should have more patience. Others finally saw the truth. And some just distanced themselves, uncomfortable with all the drama. And that was okay, because I had learned something crucial. Family isn't about blood. It's about choice, about who sees you, values you, genuinely loves you. And I had that, with Ethan, with Sarah, with my dad, and slowly, with my mom and Victoria too. At the wedding rehearsal dinner, yes, still months away, but we wanted to test the venue in Lake Forest, Victoria showed up with someone, a guy named Michael, normal, kind, clearly in love with her. This is Michael, she introduced us, nervous. We've been dating for 3 months. Nice to meet you, Michael shook our hands. Victoria talks about you a lot, Rachel, about how you helped her change. I didn't help her, I corrected. She did the work herself. But you gave me a reason to do the work, Victoria said softly, because I saw what real love looks like, with you and Ethan, and I wanted that, genuinely, not performatively. And do you have it? I asked, looking between her and Michael. I'm learning, she smiled. Michael knows everything, about my past manipulation, about my therapy, and he chose to stay. Not because I cried, but because he sees who I'm becoming. That's all that matters, Michael said. Not who you were, but who you're choosing to be. Healing isn't a destination. It's a journey. And sometimes the journey includes forgiving people who hurt you, not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. On the wedding day, when I walked down the aisle toward Ethan at a beautiful venue overlooking Lake Michigan, I saw my family. Imperfect, wounded, but trying. My mom crying, tears of joy, not manipulation. My dad proud, finally seeing both daughters clearly. And Victoria, sitting with Michael, no tears, no drama, just happy for me. When Ethan and I exchanged vows, when we promised love and choice and commitment, I knew I had won. Not by destroying Victoria, but by being so genuinely happy that her lies no longer had power. I love you, Ethan said when the officiant declared us married, my strong, incredible, genuine Rachel. I love you, I replied, my partner, my defender, my chosen one. At the reception, Victoria pulled me aside. Rachel, I just wanted to say thank you. For what? For not giving up on me, she said. For giving me a chance to change. For believing I could be more than the manipulator. You always were more, I corrected. You just forgot. But you remembered, and that's all that matters. I'll keep remembering, she promised, every day, because I saw what real love looks like, and I want that, genuinely. You'll have it, I said honestly, if you keep doing the work. Years later, when I tell this story, to friends, to my children, to anyone who asks, I always end it the same way. My sister wasn't evil. She was wounded. And wounded people wound others. But wounded people can also heal, if they're willing to do the work. And Victoria was. And that made all the difference. Because in the end, this isn't a story about revenge. It's a story about truth, about finally being seen, about choosing genuine love over performative manipulation, and about the fact that sometimes the greatest victory isn't destroying your enemy. It's simply being so authentically happy that their lies become irrelevant. This story teaches us that sensitivity can be used as a weapon, that tears don't always mean genuine pain, that some people learn early that victimhood brings power and use it to manipulate. But it also teaches us that change is possible, that people can grow if they are genuinely committed, that families can heal if they are willing to see the truth and do the hard work. If you have someone in your family who uses sensitivity as a weapon, know this: you are not cruel for setting boundaries. You are not insensitive for demanding genuineness. And you are not obligated to accept manipulation in the name of keeping family peace. If this story touched you, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon. Leave a comment. Have you ever had someone who used tears as a weapon? How did you deal with it? Remember, you deserve genuine relationships, not performative ones. And you? What do you value more? False family peace or genuine truth, even when it hurts?